Getting into game number 1, 20%? 20%. I mean, that's not that high. And they better hope that they boom off here from the beginning. And
yeah, 20% is not high, but let's say they're taxing you for 20%, then you would complain, oh man, this is a lot.
It is a lot. When it's that, that's very specific. I feel like 20% normally, though, isn't great. If I have 5 M&Ms and I give you 1 M&M, would you be happy with 1 M&M?
Depending which color you give me. If you're giving me green M&M, I'm fine. Yellow, sure.
I'll give you 1 peanut M&M. It'll be a great 20% that you can enjoy while I get 4. But 20%, we'll see if they can make it work. How do you feel about this last pick with Shrek?
I see what they try to go with it, to have a little bit of a say with the center where you can like bring Templar Assassin and Leshrac, but Leshrac also doesn't like to play into these type of heroes. Like, one arena is going to keep you inside, and also to point out, Mars did go for the Bloodsport this time around. He did have Victory Feast chosen at the start, because this is, I think, overall a better facet on Mars nowadays. It gives you insane amount of heal and insane amount of damage, especially if you have explosive damage. Let's say you trap them with TB, then Monkey gets a bit of a heal. He gets the Wukong. Unfortunately, there are no Croakers here, so nothing can stun them. They didn't spawn yet. And yeah, it's good against Shadow Demon in this one, not allowing them to see inside of the arena, not allowing them to get the save, which is, I think this is like one of the better Mars games I've seen, and it's also collapse on Mars. Maybe not so much in the lane. He's laning with the Jakiro, so that's going to be a bit of a saving grace for collapse, but also what he can do in this game, because you have a lot of things like Bloodsport is great, and also great against Centaur. You can break the team fight. You have ways to play with the Wukong's command, 2 big circles. Your damage is going to be insane. You have a good amount of, I would say, saves with the Arena, Sunder, Tombstone with the Shard later on.
Does this feel like another game where BetBoom are heavily reliant on Pure to kind of just take over the game for them? Because there's been a couple of those where it just feels like there's a lot of expectations on Pure to make something more than what you can do in the early parts of the game or even later on.
Yeah, Pure had some top-tier performances, and he had, when they played against Navi, 3 really bad Lina performances. Yesterday against Tidebound, his lifesteal looked really, really good. Then Monkey King was kind of okay-ish, and then they managed to win the game with the Gyrocopter. Also a bit of a questionable buyback in one of that like later scenarios, game 3, when he blinked into the 5 enemy heroes, bought back instantly. So he's been a little bit of a hit or miss. If we go back a year, let's say to the last EWC, I think I was saying that he is currently the best carry player in the world, and he definitely was at the time. But something did happen. I just don't see him when we talk about the best carry players right now. I would not put him up there. He had a couple of bad tournaments. BetBoom Team also didn't do the greatest. They also didn't have him for the last Dream League as well. So we'll have to see. Maybe it affected his mentality slightly, but we'll have to see. This player still has a lot to offer. Had 2 really good performances yesterday, as already said.
Yeah, he's definitely had some really good performances, and, you know, he does show glimpses of still being in that top spot as a carry. But there is a lot needed, or a lot really wished on here by BetBoom fans on what they have to bring to kind of feel a little bit more successful in Spirit. They felt a lot more comfortable. You know, their road to getting to 3-0 out of the Swiss stage was Wildcard, Edge, and Navi. Some would say an easier road than most, but they take advantage and they make sure that they make these games still look pretty easy, honestly. I mean, they look like a very fluid team that has a lot of chemistry.
Yeah, for sure. Some of the early games, I would say for Spirit, didn't look as crisp, but their late game is always going to be their best, like mid and late game, especially late game. When Collapse played at Mars, when they were playing against Navi, basically 1 hit away from killing it, the throne. He lands 2 arenas, soaks up some of the damage with the Bulwark as well.
Right now, Yatoro is doing all right here. Bottom save on this saving hero of the Shadow Demon. Has Miero in the mix, but this shouldn't really be the most killer lane for I would say the dire side. Potentially it happens with a Tombstone and a Metamorphosis where they go over bottom. And as I say that, Miposhka's actually the one getting low first. He drops for first blood, but this is what I was expecting. Kataomi made the rotation to try and help out, but it's 2 kills for Yatoro, and he's going to start hitting away at Kataomi, who needs to TP out of the lane as this Terrorblade takes over.
A very strong start for them. TB getting a double kill. Miposhka did die, but he got all of the solo XP, and now Yatoro is level 4. Also, Templar Assassin doesn't really like to play into the Jakiro period. With Mars as well, if she gets initiated on, Nature's Prophet can't really do much to save you. Let's say you initiate with one good dual breath, he gets the Spear Bat God's Rebuke. I think you're straight up gonna die.
It does feel that way. Very fragile state if you're up against this Jakiro. We'll see how it goes. But the one who's in trouble right now is Kataomi, who TP'd to top. He'll come back in 15 seconds. He will have his teleportation spell up to come back to the lane. But going from bottom, they got themselves one, but they end up losing a couple. And now over in the top lane, like you said, the damage that can come through is quite a lot from the side of Spirit. Collapse, I mean, you were calling for this hero. The panel was calling for the hero. This Mars is devastating in his hands.
It really is. And he's having a good time in the lane, being paired up with Jakiro. Pure does have 9 Magic 1 charges to work with, but I could also see Team Spirit playing very aggressive onto the Pure. There it is. Mars didn't use anything yet.
Now has that spear, the wand was used, and Pure running away. That God's Rebuke kills him off and also pushes Kataomi the other way, but they
unless he TPs
move
out
forward with the dual breath, and Kataomi now needs to kind of stick away from Collapse, but he's slowed up. That dual breath doing some decent damage. The spear connects, and now under the tower they'll have the God's Rebuke and get another. It's a double kill for Collapse.
Oh, what a great start for them. Bottom lane getting a double kill, Collapse getting the double kill, solo XP from Kataomi. Kataomi is not the highest level at the moment, but still level 5 Mars, exactly 5 minutes, is going to be causing you quite a lot of issues. You can't really pressure him, you can't push him out of the lane anymore. This is level 3 Spear, and now Pure again in trouble. They have no regeneration left other than maybe a couple of tangos, maybe a Sprout form. Nature's Prophet and Pure, I think he will need to bail relatively soon out of this lane.
Yeah, how long are you willing to stay?
Miposhka, he's here without Blood Grenade though, but can still drop a Tombstone. They do see him.
They're sticking close to the lane though.
We see a lot of these position 5s making a rotation relatively early on, even with other carries not having that good of a start. Seems like Kataomi wants to take an L in this one.
And this is why it worries me. You stick close enough to the lane where they can pick you off. Like, Ice Path has a decent enough reach. It's one of the things that I noticed BetBoom kind of does. They're a little stubborn about leaving the lane. Wukongs. And, well, they'll change
Not
the
the easiest kill to get. You would think Monkey, you're like, oh, we're going to be able to kill him. But with the Wukongs, it's actually your defense tool as well, where you can choose where you want to go and which direction, dodge some of the spells as well.
We've been looking a lot towards top. Collapses having a really good game. But you look at the CS numbers, and Terrorblade, after getting those couple of kills, bottom has been free to do whatever he wants. And I really do love this about Yatoro. I always look at his quick buy, and it's 28 items ready to go. He has just got the shopping list ready. He is going to go to insert sponsored supermarket's name here and pick up all the items that he needs.
Yeah, one of the worst memories I have from when I was a kid is standing in the line because mom always has to get something else, and then it's getting close. I'm next, you know?
Oh, yeah. Hold my place in line. I got to go get one more thing. Oh, yeah, that... Someone like me, I got a lot of anxiety. I'm like, am I going to have to pay for this? Like,
I don't have any money.
I'm 8. I don't have any money. Do I just let people pass in front of me, and then your mom always makes it back at the last second? Thank God. Can I get a nice candy bar since I held the line? No.
We were all raised by the same mom, huh?
Apparently. Gosh. Only a 1K lead, but everything looking like it's going right for Spirit. What do you do for the Templar Assassin if you're BetBoom? Because you look at the net worth of Pure, and this is a hero that recovers well. It's not like you have to do anything too crazy, but It's stacks and what else? How do you make sure that they feel more comfortable in the lane?
They will need to bring some numbers, help him out with the Stampede, maybe bail him out of the trouble, maybe he can get an extra kill out of it, but you're playing against the Arena. Collapse is almost level 7, saving a point for Arena. This is something that he does really well. A lot of the times Collapse will make a rotation, even 6 minutes in, make sure that the power rune is secured, but also if they decide to make a move, he can land that Arena, and they can grab a kill.
Stack numbers coming through and put some pressure onto the tier 1 over mid. Collapses back to top. Mystical Cobalt Cup for Rue. Alert Sister Shroud for Kataomi. And neutral starting to come in, but I'll see which team is the next one to kind of go on the jumping off point and look to fight.
They left the side lanes pretty open. Yatoro is completely free farming in the bottom lane. Level 8.5. Centaur's doing an okay job in terms of his farm, but still not close to what Yatoro and Collapse were able to get from the laning stage. This is going to be a very early Blink Dagger on Mars. Completely uncontested.
Uncontested and a part of 4 of 6 kills. He got all 4 kills. This will be a very quick Blink Dagger indeed. There's not really a lot of pressure coming out from BetBoom, and it worries me to see them maybe play so content in the lanes, where maybe you'd like a little bit more from them to put the pressure on a team Spirit, and that Spear almost landing, but Pure will start to run away, and they'll get that Ops. They want to put the pressure onto the tower. They want to start taking these outer objectives, get themselves some more gold. And if you put pressure elsewhere on the map, Yatoro's still going to continue to have a free time. He picked up that Diadem, and he's close to getting that Manta style.
Yeah, this is going to be probably the fastest Manta style that we've seen, because he did get the double kill. They will kill the tower. They are getting some extra gold from the bounty runes. Also, there was a nice try there from Mars to land the spear, because they didn't know if he starts running away or if he's going to hide and meld. If you connect the spear, if you get stunned, you also reveal invis units. So nice try from them. 5 out of 7.
It's okay numbers. 5 out of 8. Update that one real quick.
Thank you for griefing him. Usually it's us. This time it's production. Immediately up.
Appreciate that one. I really love that. It's 5 of 8 and slowly just becoming a Spirit lead that is looking worrisome for BetBoom. You know, I did recently just say that they're content, and it just worries me because Blink Dagger means aggression from Spirit, right? If you're content with sitting back, are you ready to counterplay the Blink in the Arena as well as these spears from Spirit? Are you ready to take on?
Oh, they want to kill him here with the Sunder. Miero bottom. Stampede's ready. At least try to push him out of the lane. Like, you don't have any real stuns. Yatoro, no meta, but still putting him in the trash hole where he can't really get close. And this is going to be a lot of tower pressure.
There's that Stampede.
That Stampede out.
Forcing it off the Flesh Golem and the Tombstone. Also, Undying has Ceaseless Dirge ready. If he dies, he can come back pretty quickly. They work on the tier 1 tower, but they look for the tier 1 tower mid. They already took the top one, and these towers are gonna kind of drop in a synchronized state. And this is Spirit just closing up the map.
I think this tells a story about the game getting 2 towers at the same time, meaning that BetBoom, they can't really make any kind of a play on the map right now. Pure completely on the other side of the map, wants to farm up, 1 Mithril Hammer away from Desolator. Centaur wants to pick up his Blink Dagger. Kataomi's just been jungling, wants to get Spirit Vessel. Can't really blame him. I think this is the right way to play. Maybe Save can try to get some of the stacks going, but very slow game from BetBoom as expected.
Yeah, expected, but still a little bit worrisome. Although Spirit, they've picked up this Blink Dagger. They said they, with that item, that they probably want to look for some sort of fights. Yeah, they get this kill over mid, but I'm interested to see if they're going to smoke and maybe go towards looking to get Pure again. Miero hit with the Primal Spring. He'll pop that Blade Mail. Hoof Stomp, double edge. Laurel in trouble. The stun misses, but the damage is just so overwhelming. He's by himself, and he dies very quickly.
Blink Dagger, first item on GPK. Wants to play with the Centaur. Can't really blame. I think he needs to go a bit more risky this time around. Wants to be in the middle of a fight, but it's not going to be easy. Terrorblade just finished off Manta style. 13 minutes in. No Falcon Blade on him, so that timing is even better. And this is the item that I talked about, this Eye of Scotty. Miero, Stampede's ready, but he's not getting out of this one.
No, starts
even
with
without the
Spear
arena.
and the Sunder.
DOTA has been doing a good job with this Sunder, forcing the Stampede in the previous fight, using it on Centaur, getting a tier 2 tower in the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, and then the rest of the team getting a kill in the mid lane. Yeah, 2 and almost half minutes faster than the previous record.
That's quick. Blink Dagger also faster than the previous record. Collapse is quite farmed, especially compared
He's ready
to
with
Centaur.
the Arena. Arena Spear back ready. If they show here, Stampede's ready, but against the Arena, it's not very effective.
Uh-oh. A pause, but potentially showing GPK. Smoke gets broken. Ice Path is down.
They're ready.
Fire. GPK gets behind, looks over at Rue. They'll get the kill. Kataomi's near, and they drop the tombstone down. Miero moves forward for a second. They don't even need the arena. They both get one, and they both back up.
They were thinking whether they want to go in, commit. Arena was ready. No tombstone, but there was Flash Golem, Monkey King with Wukongs. They can still take the fight.
If anybody shows, they certainly can, but Lestrak is backed off towards mid. Miero is sticking around, but now Collapse, he's also gone towards mid. These heroes are backed away. They don't want to fight at the moment. They take the quick pick off, they go back to farming, and continue to work on their next items. Blink Dagger is next for Miero after the Vanguard Blade Mail. He's died a couple times, but he feels pretty strong. Kataomi also dying a few times. Wants that shard, wants a Blade Mail of his own. A lot of Blade Mails being built for BetBoom. And why not, right? Bit of uncontrollable damage here if you're inside the Wukongs or Macro Pyre's down. Blade Mails could be very helpful in this game, especially if you had gotten yourself a chip vest.
I just had to double check. This is the only Terrorblade out of 21 matches picked so far that did go for the other facet, that did go for Soul Fragment. So the reason why he's able to get some of these Sunders is because he's losing the HP and then he's entering the fight with low HP, using it on Centaur twice.
Not a bad strat. Something a little bit different. They smoke, they ring around the Rosie, they miss Pure initially, but they're going back that direction, and Pure is very caught. Wheels up into the air, Ice Path is down, Macropyre, Wukong, Spear connects, and that is a very dead Templar assassin.
A little bit of an overkill. I guess they did not want to risk anything, thinking that he could maybe blink out, but he doesn't even have Blink Dagger ready. Yatoro, always a threat on the map with this facet. Man, this is one really farmed Terrorblade, staying almost 3,000 ahead of the enemy carry.
Staying so far ahead of the enemy carry, a carry too that farms very well.
He's gonna find Kataomi here. Kataomi does have TP available.
Uh-oh. TP, but is the damage too quick? It is. Singular Yatoro takes out this.
A lot of illusions
fast.
with the shard, that extra attack speed that you do get. 100 attack speed. Bonus movement speed has been nerfed from 100 to 60, but it's still quite a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Speed.
Where do you go now? You're being pressured very heavily. They want to continue to fight. They do smokes, and they want to alleviate some of this pressure by winning a fight. But there's still arena. There's no Macro Pyre. There's no Wukongs. Kataomi goes in with the obs. They find themselves Yatoro. They should be able to get the kill quick, and they will. That's how you alleviate pressure, by getting these kills, not letting the side of Spirit walk all over their side of the map like that.
They were trying to make something happen in the mid lane, try to bait with Undying, while the rest of the team was making a play on a different side of the map. Maybe thinking that they were safe enough, having that Observer Ward. But it wasn't good enough. This is the big kill. You just killed off Terrorblade, who's worth 1,000+ gold total. GPK getting the last hit.
Really like that move, especially Kataomi going in. He places that obs really quickly. They do spot themselves the Terrorblade, and then they immediately all are on the same target, jumping in and going. They use that Stampede. The hook stop does connect. They've got GPK again. The arena is used, but to no success. They lose Collapse, but at the same time, Pure is caught top, and that's a saving grace for Spirit after losing the Terrorblade and then the Mars.
Yeah, so Spirit gets some kind of a trade out of it at least. Pure going for that extra wave. We did say a couple of times when they were playing against Navi, his Lina 3 times in a row. Like always going for that extra creep wave.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit greedy.
Especially when your team is making a play like that on a completely different side of the map.
On what you know is a solo target too, right? They knew that Collapse was alone. So it is a very risky spot to be farming in, and it causes you to pay for that risk with your life and slows down the farm of the Templar Assassin, who still sits low in the core net worth discussion. With all that said, though, Nature's Prophet, we've talked about how this hero as a support really does kind of transition into a 4th core. It scales well.
He does. He takes a good amount of farm, but Kataomi, even when he played position 4, he is no stranger to carrying the games back when he was playing Tiny with some of the Divine Rapiers, his Winter Wyvern. So this guy can definitely carry, knows how to itemize to get into the mid and late game. Going for Blade Mail this time around, so it's going to be double Blade Mail. Pure again, same spot.
Blinks away, TP's out. This time safe, not playing too far forward and greedy. Saw that courier flying over, and that's what gave them the information about where Pure was at. Got that spider sense and then left, and now at 20 minutes, the side of Team Spirit, they've got the Aegis, but they're also going to pick up the Tormentor. And their objective taking up to this point has been pretty good. They took all the tier 1s pretty much in unison, and now they get themselves an Aegis, and they get the Shard from Aposhka.
They're TPing mid. Pure has Blink Dagger ready, but if he gets initiated on by Jakiro, Rue with the Glimmer Cape, that was a nice play. Miera was in a good spot, trying to scout out if they're going to be TPing out.
Taking a good look at Nature's Prophet at the bottom right of your screen with the Trail of the Burning Doom glitch cosmetic staff that he's got going on. So he's always burning, but he's not taking damage.
Cosmetic? You always keep talking about Trail of the Burning Doom, other glitch cosmetics.
The Trail
who talks a lot about it. I would expect you to have multiple. I would expect you to at least give me one of those.
To give you one of those?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
It's my birthday soon.
Same.
It's not. We're both born in November.
Kataomi's going to die. Now they'll go to try to counter this.
Good
Great stun. Miero with the double stun. GPK with the follow-up. Aposhka and Collapse are dead. Yatoro wants more. He wants save. They're looking for the Boundless Strike, but there's the jump. Can they find anything? They get save, and now what else can they get? They're onto the back lines looking for Rube with the Boundless Strike with the Sharp.
No Scepter in a second.
To the other side.
Got it off.
K has the damage with Pure. Oh, Yatoro looking for a Sunder, looking for anything, but he's got the Aegis, so he doesn't need to use it immediately. But that means now you've got no meta.
Good
That's a problem, and they need to stop this TP, but can't.
That was a nice play from Yatoro as well, but not too bad of a fight for BetBoom Team. That 2-man stomp. I also want to see the damage coming out from Leshrac. Yeah, 4,000 damage in the previous fight. Manages to get out. Very nice itemization from GPK. Getting that extra bit of a tankiness from Kaya and Sanj, and his Ghost Scepter coming off cooldown last second. A lot of damage was mitigated by this Centaur Crimson Guard.
Yeah. Mitigating a lot of damage, also causing a big disruption in this fight for Spirit. The double stun into the 2-man
They
Stun
thought they were
from the
safe.
track,
Yarrow
too.
finding the opportunity. Like, usually you would not see somebody blink into the Wukong's command and also blink into the Tombstone. The Poshka is also very dead. They're not getting the heals off. Pure. No vision. Team Spirit losing 5,000-6,000 gold advantage in the last couple of minutes.
They're going to lose Rue, too. BetBoom. They have turned this game on its head.
Oh man, look where Collapse is. He was staying on top of the network for the good first almost 10 minutes until TB took over. And now Nature's Prophet almost has the same amount of farm.
Yeah, this has been, like we said, a really good game for Katomi. He's going into the Ags next. So he wants to have the entanglement from that Wrath of Nature. I mean, he is really that big difference maker scaling into this one. And now you're kind of feeling maybe the lack of success on aggression from Spirit.
Yeah, that fight in the top lane where they lost Terrorblade and the rest of the team, they were in the mid lane, was kind of what broke the fight, like broke the whole game, how it's going to be played out. Roshan is dead and may respawn in 3 minutes. Also, the Aegis usage wasn't really there. They lost that fight with the Aegis. TB still manages to TP out, but BetBoom, they are definitely back.
Yeah, they're certainly back. And then now this, I mean, I just don't know if they're really expecting how much damage is also coming out from GPK.
They haven't managed to catch GPK not even one time. And now with the BKB, things are going to be even more difficult. They have no abilities that go through debuff immunity. So this whole idea of Mars being able to catch him never really happened. Never caught inside of the arena. That's why Miero is also building into a BKB, so they can try to reset against the arena. It's going to be pretty big against Wukong's as well, if they can run away against the Tombstone. Wukong's command and then try to take the fight. Could be pretty big.
All the way back to a 5,000 net worth lead, and we've seen Spirit in a couple of adverse moments throughout the Swiss stage. They were down to just their throne and 70-ish health, but they found ways to bring it back, so you can never count this team out. It's very early. I mean, they're only down 4,000 net worth, but BetBoom certainly feel like they are in a very good spot in the game. They've got a good foothold into this next few minutes or so, especially going into the next Roche.
They do. And you can tell that they feel pretty confident, seeing that there is BKB available on GPK, on Pure, and one on Miero in 500 gold. Usually the way you counter Leshrac is by having a Mage Slayer. Monkey King is a very good hero to buy it, but other heroes don't deal as much magic damage, so I can understand why he didn't go for it. And also you do get a pipe. Like if you have a combination of Mage Slayer plus pipe from the offlane, it makes Leshrac's game pretty impossible to play, but there are no items. Not one of those two.
Will there be a switch to try and...
It might be too late for it.
For that, yeah. Mage Star is usually an much earlier item.
Yeah, it's your first item on Monkey.
Nothing queued up that says going that direction, and you can see Yatoro still BKB and right-clicking, getting everything to auto-buy, has the shopping list ready. But he has to get there. He's got the Ice Scotty and that Hurricane Pike, but he's got to find those Sunder targets to survive, and the rest of the team around him also kind of needs to balance out how they can kind of make moves and survive in these fights.
It does feel that they need an extra round of items. This Nullifier needs to come through to remove the Crimson Guard, remove Ghost Scepter from Leshrac, Gale Guard. A lot of different things that can be nullified that are annoying for Terrorblade to kill the targets inside of the arena. And now a triple BKB timing for BetBoom Team. 3 9-second BKBs ready.
Kind of expect the fight to take place at the next Roche. And next Roche
it's going to be a really
about,
long spawn.
Yeah, about a minute 45, I would say 2 minutes away from spawning. Pure building into the Revenant's Brooch. He's gotten himself back up there in net worth. Nataro still sits 3K ahead, but it's where the other two cores are that worry me about what Spirit's going to be able to accomplish. And have they made a bit of a miss on timings?
Mars is definitely falling off. Like, if he's showing, that also means you're not making a play, because you're not going to be making play without your Mars. He can show in a lane, try to shove it, but you're also giving out the information.
Laurel continuing to farm, Boundless striking in the lane, has that defusal, has Manta, like you said, going into the Noah Fire, almost has enough for that Sacred Relic. Not too far off when all things are considered. But this long Roche spawn, you gotta continue to wait for this second Aegis and kind of work on, I would say, getting the Noah Fire, or hoping to get the Noah Fire before the fight. It's a tough ask, but potentially possible, especially if they were to get a pick off. But for right now, BetBoom, everybody except for Kataomi are on their side of the map, and now Save is kind of crossing river to help out, maybe push the lane as well. And they're gonna smoke on Spirit, so they feel comfortable enough to go for a fight. But
Roche needs
both
exactly
the heroes
1
bottom
minute
and
to
left.
respawn.
Ags picked up for the Nature's Prophet too, so they'll have that entangle.
Pure is showing in the mid lane. Can he get a spear?
Oh,
He misses.
Collapse! Missed the spear, the turnaround, the blink host stomp, and now they get the kill on a collapse. Ice Path is going to lock up Pure for a second, but you need to bail on Spirit. And I don't know if they're going to have that opportunity. They hit the Sunder, but Pure with the BKB, it is devastating for Spirit and BetBoom. After that spear missed, they knew they had a wide open chance for this fight.
Ooh. If they connect the Spirit, this fight is completely different. With the Ice Pad follow-up, with the Monkey King's Boundless Strike, they should be able to kill him, but there was also Save relatively close to the fight, because he immediately used Demonic Purge onto him, which meaning that he maybe would have gotten the save off. He needs to blink inside of the arena, for example, because of the Bloodsport, but still, like, this fight showed the strength of BetBoom lineup. They managed to survive through the most difficult time, when they were almost 5k gold down, getting that one big fight, and now they are controlling Roshan. Leshrac in the late game is like very, very good against these physical damage cores. He's building into Shiva's guard, so that's gonna be his extra armor against Monkey King and TB, slowing their attack speed, removing some of the heal restoration. And also later, I think his next item after Shiva's should be Aghanim Scepter, where you turn them Imperial, they take more damage, and the only way you can dispel that if you push yourself away with the Hurricane Pike, or if you're using the BKB. This game completely flipped.
Yeah, it was that fight within the top side jungle in the dire area, and things from there got very difficult for the side of Team Spirit. Still given a very generous 32%, which is a higher percentage than you gave BetBoom at the beginning, but I mean, any percent is good a percent if you can try and bring it back. This game, and especially this tournament, has shown if there's the throne up, there's a chance.
They need this Nullifier. TB also needs his BKB to be able to deal the damage. Second Tormentor, BetBoom is going to take it, Save gets it, so that's going to be an extra bit of a help coming out. You have basic Dispel, you have extra bit of a heal.
It's quite nice, and going for the Glimmer Cape to try and help out even more on the survivability aspect. These supports are very farmed on BetBoom. Obviously getting the benefit of the Shard there, but was still ahead the other two supports on the side of Spirit. The scaling from these supports on Spirit don't exactly match what the supports have from BetBoom.
Yeah, the Undying definitely falls off if you're not fighting. At least he has Shard right now, so that can be extra bit of a save. Jakiro, he needs his big item. He needs to get somehow gold. Doesn't have GPM enchantment. Doesn't have Greedy. So we'll have to get somehow gold for his Aghanim Scepter. That's the big one.
Thing is, you think about the Macro Pyre and how you want to land and have them in the Macro Pyre while you're blocking them in the arena, but we really haven't seen a big arena.
No.
Like, we're 32 minutes into the game, and I think we've only seen 1 or 2 arenas total.
They were doing so good that they didn't even need to use the arena. I'm having a really good read what's happening here. Very close. They needed an extra second to be able to get the disruption off. Needs another 100 gold to finish off his BKB.
Monkey King has that nullifier, but they've got the workhorse unlocked. And Centaur picks up that Aghanim Scepter. Always good to have that. Getting the benefit of your current level of Stampede. Using that workhorse first and then Stampede afterwards.
Also being able to save Pure. Right now he doesn't need much saving because he has Aegis of his own, but you have now Disruption. Let's see if they can maybe find something here. GPK, pretty flawless game from him so far.
Yeah, and he came into one of the initial fights and just melted these targets on Spirit. They have not had an answer for this whole Shrek. 10-0-6. He doesn't just melt heroes, he melts buildings. This is another 80 seconds with the Aegis. You're smoked up looking for a shot, but not sure you're gonna get there. Balance Strike, Nullifier, Ice Path, the damage is out, but they go to the workhorse, they've got the disruption, that kind of disjoints it. And he's
they used it at the same time, pretty much.
Yeah, they used it at the same time where he was disrupted, but also in the workhorse.
Oh,
and
nice
look at the damage on Aurora. They get the kill on Aru. Pure now Stampede trying to get away, and will successfully leave. 45 seconds up to the Aegis. Balance Strike comes in, but they're going to jump forward with the BKB. Now looking to get the damage onto Collapse, who drops down the arena. Yatoro hits away at the Nature's Prophet. Will at least
saving the Thunder for Pure.
They got the Aegis. They'll take Pure's first life, but he pops that BKB immediately. And I don't know how far you're willing to chase, because a turnaround Blink Hoof Stomp would really end the fight quick.
Root forced to use a buyback. That's going to be his goal taken away from that Aghanim Scepter. They really want to have Pure damage.
Certainly do. I mean, when you're really looking for damage specific to one player,
it's pretty much all TB. He's the only one who's dealing damage in the previous fight.
They need Pure damage, they need GPK damage, they need damage on Collapse. They got to clean up these heroes. They got to hope they have a little bit more. But right now, Spirit, they are on the brink of losing it all in this first game.
Meta coming off cooldown in 50 seconds. Let's see if they're going to be able to hold. Miero is very tanky, finds the opening.
Stop Collapse already caught. Yule's up into the air. Rue's dead again. 70 seconds, no buyback. They have buyback available on Collapse, but what do they have to really throw these heroes away? Drop him off in the workhorse, put him in the carriage, and lift him up. I gotta go. My taxi's here.
This should be the side. I'm not sure without Wukongs, without Meta for 20 seconds, that they can take this fight. No Tombstone as well.
They're going to take the fight to them. They jump in on Laurel. They've got back-to-back stuns that land and get the damage out onto this Monkey King. Maposhka, he's going to die. He's got buyback. And they'll go through, get Miero, but have they dove in too far? They'll TP out with the BKB, but now he stopped it. He wants to turn and go. The damage on Yatoro has no target for Sunder. He's dead. 90 seconds gone. Now they'll use the buyback. It was the Dirge that came back for free, but Pure goes into the fountain and gets the life of Laurel. They'll call GG, and BetBoom will take game number 1.
Oh man, that read from GPK to not... He stopped his TP. He did not want to get out. And they are jumping into the fountain. BetBoom, what a turnaround after having a big loss.
Another excellent interview with Nomad, this time with Silent. And we come into game number 2 looking for hope. That is really the name of the game here for at least Spirit and Silent. But BetBoom, after that first game, feel like they kind of do this. They get some success with something that they like. They pick it again. Pure's back on the Templar Assassin. And I like their draft. I really like their draft.
Yeah, I think Spirit needed to find the right hero from the mid lane on 24. Something that's also not going to be affected by all of this physical damage from Templar Assassin, from Lycan. Lycan, and they also needed hero that can lane well into Puck, because they were lacking a stun. Like, they don't have many ways of controlling this Puck, so Dragon Knight was kind of a natural choice, I would say. Problem is, Dragon Knight numbers in terms of damage and his spells and everything aren't really the highest. That's the reason why he's not picked as much. But this Lycan pick could be the problem. Like, last time he played it was at the start of Wallachia. They did lose that game against Edge. But this should be, on paper, a bit of a better game. You're playing into NP, who doesn't like to play into Lycan, especially both supports. They have no tools whatsoever until they can get to maybe some Ghost Scepter. But considering how much farm Miero is going to be getting, I'd say that Nullifier is a must-have item on him. This game might be even slightly earlier, seeing that he's playing into this Ringmaster, so you want to be able to nullify the box.
We've seen a little bit of resurgence in the picks of Ringmaster. It feels like it kind of gives you similar vibes to the Shadow Demon. You're looking for that save. The Impalement Arts is quite nice. I mean, his ult is a good AoE. Is this hero that is something that you believe that should be kind of picked up a little bit more? Do you like what the Ringmaster offers?
Not necessarily. I think after the nerfs, their hero is okay. Not an S tier by any means. They did ruin Bane. Like, I don't think Bane's going to be having a good time playing into Save from Ringmaster, playing into Global Silence. Pretty much a difficult game, so he'll need to wait it out until the fight is over to be able to use the Fiend's Grip, or if they're going to be forcing the fight, jumping the Silencer. They have relatively good jump with Templar Assassin, Lycan, and Puck, so I'm worried for Team Spirit supports, how they're going to be able to play it out. And this is, other than Dragon Knight and Global Silence, a pretty free Puck game.
Well, we'll see if GPK can kind of keep up where he left off in game number 1. Had an amazing Leshrac game. Now back on something a little bit more conventional. Going back to the Puck with that curveball. Miposhka has to run. These Wolves can always be very annoying in the combination with this Shadow Shaman. Levels 2, level 3. We could definitely see if they're up a little bit too far that these heroes die on the side of Team Spirit.
Not an easy lane as well. Save has a pretty free cast in this one. If he gets the Shackle off, Miposhka, like, Last Word takes 4 seconds to kick in. Yatoro doesn't have anything to stop it, so you can play with the Wolves, maybe with some body blocks. If you can get in front, Miposhka could be in trouble. Does have TP available, but Chicken Fingers is going to hex him, and this should be the first blood.
Arcane Curse Last Word, and that will go off, but that means first blood for Miero, and you said this guy's going to have an accelerated game, and that feels to be the case. And this lane is going to be very difficult for Silencer to survive. There are games like this where you just know as a support that the death tally is going to rack up.
Yeah, this is definitely not a game that Miposhka can replicate. When they were playing against Navi, when he was involved in 100% of the kills with Silencer, had like 15 intelligence stolen, 15 minutes into the game, was all over the place. This time around, they don't have really the heroes that he can play with. Collapse in the bottom lane.
He's in a lot of trouble. TP over from Yatoro, though. Looking to go after Pure Kataomi. He's not getting any attention from the damage, so he's able to survive a little bit longer.
And turn the fight around.
Brain Sap. Cinder Brew is burning a little bit, and the Tame the Beast from Rue will get the kill. Yatoro showing up to the fight and helping to at least turn this one around and keep Collapse alive.
Gives him the earn charge. 2 charges on it. Collapse will use 1 to try to regen up a little bit. And we'll give 1 to Yatoro before he TPs out.
We get a pause into the situation. I have a good pause topic. We go look at Yatoro. He's got Bleak Hallucination on the same staff that we saw Kataomi had his glitched item on. So that staff's very popular.
Komar Letayet. If my Russian is correct, I believe that is Mosquito flying around, which is distracting the players.
That can be very annoying. These bugs are aggressive.
Usually it is Fly, man. This guy always finds a way as a stand-in to be at the tournaments and be very, very annoying. Always flying around, making people uncomfortable. You gotta cover your food. Man, EG Fly.
You asked me, by the way, how much those cosmetics cost. They start at about...
prices?
No, I know them. They start at about 900, and they get all the way up there. There are some cosmetics up there at 22,000 on the market. Arcane Curse. Yatoro in trouble. He's trying to get helped by this Silencer, but Miposhka's not going to give enough, and Miero
he's going to regen up.
Get the kill, and now turning their attention towards the Silencer for a second.
Yeah, those cosmetics are pretty expensive. Not as expensive as your MTG decks that you do have.
I got some neat ones. I would say those are less expensive. Laurel, GPK, pretty even. I mean, the difference is negligible. 2 more CS for the puck, 2 more denies for the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, this is always the problem in the lane, where Shadow Shaman can cast his spells for free without being worried that, sure, you can still kill him, but it's not easy to stop him from using the shackles. Collapse playing very aggressive with the dagger. Impalement Art will burn through this refraction, at least the first one.
Don't really have to worry about the Nature's Prophet with his teleportation on cooldown for 30 seconds. Another Nightmare, Rue. He'll be fine, Cinder be thrown out. And now the turnaround on the Kataomi. Meanwhile, Laurel dying to GPK. Collapse got low. They wanted to put the aggression onto this Bane, but they just don't have it in them to get that kill. Save came over. He had that Hex as well as the Shackle to help get the control. GPK gets that kill mid.
This kill is pretty big, leaving Lycan alone, knowing that he can't really die. And now GPK with Region Rune, he's going to grab another one. So you leave Lycan alone in the top lane. He's getting some of the solo XP. You can't really kill him. You can't push him out of the lane. He can TP out even if the support is going to be there with him. So he's never going to be in real trouble. And then Save, making a rotation to the mid lane, securing the rune, securing the kill. They grab another kill because of the rune secure. Lanes are opening up quickly for BetBoom.
Really surprised Shadow Shaman is didn't get a bigger nerf or anything. He feels very strong from many check boxes.
Base armor decreased by 1.
That doesn't seem to matter. They'll go and
he's out
for Pure, but he is able to TP out. Meanwhile, while he got their focus and attention, they steal the shrine. So both shrines going to the supports of the side of BetBoom.
4 heroes for this. They lost the XP rune and Save, like, getting XP rune on the other side, Kataomi on the enemy side, while everybody else is kind of farming. So Pure is going to be lacking some of the gold from this engagement, but didn't lose any of the intelligence, didn't lose his life. Things are looking very good for BetBoom team. Miero, he got the first blood, and he's going to hit a really big timing on this helm. Already has the Dominator into the tower. GPK, Coil is ready.
Coil used, and that will snap. But do they have the damage? These heroes coming over. Maposhka and Rue are here to deter. Oral doesn't have the Elder Dragon form anymore, but you got to know, if you see both supports, there is a chance that you are going to see yourself the Nature's Prophet as well. Didn't help them enough to get the kill in the previous gank, but there's certainly something that you have to worry about if you're BetBoom.
Dragon Knight is tanky, especially with the raindrop. Maybe there was a talk that Shaman needs to come. Not sure if Save had TP available to shackle him underneath under the tower. Yatoro about to crack level 6. This might be the extra damage that they do need. This is also a bit of a slower lineup from Spirit compared to the previous game, where they had all the advantage in the world, 5k at 15 minutes, but unable to find any fights. This time, it's a bit of a slower one. Dragon Knight wants his Blink Dagger. NP, he can participate, but your Brewmaster, he wants to farm the Radiance.
These ward lane wards have been pretty popular for a lot of these teams, and it is been giving a lot of information for, I mean, we saw Liquid take advantage of these lane wards, so now we're seeing the side of BetBoom taking advantage of a deeper lane ward that was placed in between the Tier 1 and the Tier 2. And they've also got a deep ward over in the top part of the jungle on that outer ring. Shadow Shaman looking to make a move potentially onto this Nature's Prophet. They'll use that ult, and he comes from behind. He hits the Hex, and he's got the Shackle with the Serpent wards. There's nothing you can do. Because they took those shrines, that means this Silencer is only level 4. There's no protection.
Silencer is also dead.
He TP'd in, and now, well, he's going to be chased. Kataomi shows up, cuts him off at the pass, and Miero gets the kill. Dream Coil used on Aru, and now he has to try and run. He'll use that escape axe, but they hit the stun. They've got the damage, and GPK is going to be on a killing spree.
He still has
Laurel,
Shape.
he's here, and he'll throw a stun onto Miero under the Tier 2 tower. But overall, I mean, this is going really well for BetBoom.
Yeah, pack leader Facet allows you to extend the kill by extend the duration of the shapeshift by 5 seconds, and he got 2 of those kills. You also have critical strike on your units, on all of your summons, plus him and Shadow Shaman does have Reaper Lash, so that's going to be good with the Shadow Shaman wards and with all of the units. So getting that extra damage, Kataomi.
Brain Sap. Yatoro showing up. No Nightmare, no Brain Sap for a while. That means that's a dead Bane. No Shapeshift, no Dream Coil, no Serpent Wards. Time for Spirit to put pressure onto the mid-tier 1. Although if they don't take it quick enough, there can be an answer. And you gotta worry a little bit, how long are they willing to stay?
Supports are level 4 and 5 on Spirit. They can't really fight. They can't really fight into Lycan. Next Shapeshift's ready in 15 seconds.
Dream Coil committed. Will snap the coil, illusory orb, maybe even forcing or trying to force Collapse to go to the Primal Split, and he will, stopping that TP, and now they'll phase shift illusory orb, but cycloned up into the air and won't be able to jaunt to that orb. He tries to use the Waning Rift to get some distance, but now has another phase shift and an illusory orb to jump to. Kataomi might be the victim of this gank. But GPK had gone in, and they've got Serpent Wards back up again to get some damage. To look over at Yatoro. They take out Rue, the Ether Shock. They finish off the Nature's Prophet. So it is worth giving up the Bane to then have this turnaround and punish this Nature's Prophet.
Most definitely. A bit of a mistake there from Collapse. Like, he microed it nicely, but he didn't dispel. Like, he used Boulder immediately, pulled him in, which did not allow Puck to jump out, then used Cyclone, but didn't dispel his Arcane Rune, which did still lower the cooldown by 25%. So his Shapeshift came off cooldown, his Illusory Orb came off cooldown, and look at this, Helm of the Overlord finished 11 minutes into the game. This has to be the fastest by far. Like, we haven't seen much from Lycan this year, but this has to be the fastest this year by far.
Faster by 53 seconds. Oh, a minute and 38 seconds. Wait, what? All right, 2 different numbers, sure. Very quick. Helm of the Overlord. And a 5,000 net worth lead for BetBoom already. I mean, Miero is the guy who you said was going to have a quick game, and he's got one so far. GPK here with save. Shadow Shaman just offers so much. Arl's got this Blink Dagger, but it's one movement item, and it's not giving them a lot when they try to go for these fights. Shadow Shaman is going for Aether Lens first, not into that initial Blink Dagger.
Yeah, this is fine. I think he wants to keep the distance rather than blink in and maybe get stunned by Dragonite. He knows that he doesn't necessarily need to be close to the fight. He has Templar Assassin, Puck, and Lycan, plus his units in the front line, which is going to keep Team Spirit busy. This is a very difficult game for Spirit. I know that we had 5k comeback in the previous one, when Spirit did kind of handle it to them without finding the right fights. But this one is not going to be easy by any means. Yatoro farming on a completely different side of the map. Radiant did use a scan, but didn't find him.
Yeah, didn't catch on that scan. Scanning twice recently. They smoked up, both teams. And knowing that maybe there are going to be chances for try to steal a shrine again.
You lose one fight close to your base in the next 5 minutes when Deso's up, when AC's up, when Lycan with Shadow Shaman wards, AC, Deso, you're just pretty much going to lose the game. And 21% win chance for Team Spirit. This is a difficult one for them. Collapse very far away from Radiance.
Kataomi, this is
He's
risky.
thinking. This is risky.
This is... We'll see you later, Kataomi. Take 24 seconds to realize that all 5 heroes were just there. But that keeps their attention, and they are pushing in this tier 2 tower. Another outer tower. 14 minutes into the game, two tier 2 towers gone. Oh my gosh. That's quite a bit, but yeah, taking 2 towers like that, that
Map is so small.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have objectives to TP2. If you lose your outpost as well, you basically have nothing. You have tier 2 tower and you have tier 3 towers to TP2, which sounds pretty rough. Any kind of a move that they make across the river, you can't rotate with the teleportation.
found the Shaman. Save is going to die here. Good job by Spirit to get at least the pick off. They need to continue to kind of get anything under their belts. But it is leaving Miero to continue to farm, and he is going into the early AC. He's got plate mail already, adding 10 armor. He's happy with that. Pierre's just been quietly farming by himself. He's going Deso. He's just 300 gold away from finishing that. Escape act attempt, but Rue is going to die to neutrals.
Denied. Nicely done. Shapeshift is down. He didn't extend it by 5 seconds because he didn't get the kill. Those goddamn croakers, they also got nerfed in the previous patch. That cast point has been increased by 0.1.
I think they deserved a buff. Croakers are my favorite new neutrals. They thought they were going to get me back with the Prowlers.
Look at this.
No.
I'm looking at the different side of the map. Yatoro trying to TP out. They even placed Observer Ward. Kateomi having a pretty good read where NP is going to be farming, but a bit too late of a TP. Too late to rotate. If he catches him there with Nightmare and Fiend's Grip, anybody can TP and just deal the damage.
Miero with a lot of farm. Aetherland's closing in for save. Blink Dagger for the puck. But you look at Spirit's items, and they're looking for the Mjolnir on Yatoro, who's trying to farm all over the map. They do have access to Global Silence now. Of course, we've seen the Wheel of Wonder. It's a bit of a slower Maelstrom from Yatoro, but they are going for Roche. 16, 17 minutes.
Yatoro
Roche.
again.
He's the one putting Obs down deep. He wants to safely farm on the other side of the map.
I would not call that safe farm. It's very risky. Does put an Observer Ward, and I believe he might have got scouted just now.
He wants to more safely farm in the difficult areas. Oh.
Kateomi needs 2 seconds. Twice.
Close. Escaping by the skin of his teeth. Shapeshift and the chase is on.
In a lot of trouble.
Baposhka kind of understands that he might be dead.
Sister Shroud almost keeping him alive. What an item.
The better Gossamer. The Sister Shroud. I've only got 2 brothers.
Only?
Well, yeah.
Well, what's the average number of brothers, the siblings that people have? Let's check that one out.
No idea. Yatoro this time caught by Kateomi, but he doesn't really have the help. The rest of his team is bottom.
Yeah, the average number of siblings per person worldwide is approximately 2.
Oh, cool. I'm average.
Ah, you were a rich kid growing up, weren't you?
I don't know. I plead the 5th.
I saw the neighborhood. You showed me the pictures.
Don't call me out. This time another Nightmare, and now they've got Save with the Hex as well as the Serpent Wards, but the Escape Act and the Silence, they'll get the kill there onto the Nature's Prophet. They'll look for the Ringmaster, but they don't get that. They got what they came for, though, and they take out the Nature's Prophet. Ooh. Just on the edge. Kateomi getting some more golds. You know, you think it's that way because of the neighborhood, but then I asked for 5 for an ice cream from the ice cream man, and it was always no.
Ooh, I could have gotten a lot of ice cream back in the days when I was growing up for 5.
Save pushing mid for a second.
Goddamn inflation. Who invented that inflation?
I don't know. Not me.
Oh, Yatoro this time. I don't think he's getting out. Kateomi
saves
the
here.
Observer Ward. He has Tumbler Stoy to jump in.
He does. And there's the Hex. And they have the control with the Shackle. And an easy kill again onto the Nature's Prophet. And 2 times you get away with it. 3 times not this one.
Kataomi's very good at placing these observer wards, knowing exactly where he's going to be farming. The warding observer ward that he did place in the triangle where he thinks that it's going to get him out of the trouble, where he thinks he can farm for maybe a couple of minutes before getting involved. Laurel with the Orchid. They want to punish this puck.
They want to punish this puck, but I don't know. It's not going to be easy. They smoke up. Maybe can follow this courier. Going onto the high ground is going to be a bit interesting. They know where they're probably going to be. They also scan. It connects. They're not going for the Torm immediately, but you know that they're near the Tormentor area. Can you set up for a fight right after they take this Torm? And the thing is, BetBoom are kind of wise to the movement, so they're not taking Torm immediately. They're holding off. They don't need to take the damage, but now they finally jump in on it. And the side of Spirit just not committing to trying to go as they back away, and the shard's been picked up for this bait.
That's going to help him with farming. Two supports on Spirit, they're not going to be able to scale as much. Silencer becomes pretty much a non-factor other than global in most of these situations where you don't get the scale, where you don't get the items. Like no Solar Crest, maybe he needs to get the Ghost Scepter of his own to try to protect against Life Lycan before he gets to the Nullifier. No Refresher. Ringmaster as well, he's struggling. For now, it's just a Vitality booster, but then you have Shadow Shaman who scales insanely well. Bane, if he gets the farm, and he should definitely be getting the farm with the Aghanim Shard, some Ether Lens into Aghanim Scepter, things are going to get pretty difficult. And this is what we talked about, the early timing of BetBoom's draft, going for the high ground. AC, Deso, Helm of the Dominator / Overlord, Shadow Shaman wards, all that minus armor. Now we're down to half HP.
TPing right in front of Pure is definitely interesting, but they've got the escape back. Pure holding onto an Aegis, but low. Naturo's still farming off map. He's over in the triangle on the other side of the map. And they will lose that Aegis, so turns in and regens him up. Full health, full mana. Lose that opportunity to get on top of the high ground and take anything. They didn't get the tier 3 tower. But the side of Spirit are pinched in pretty hard. This is just not an easy escape for Spirit with this deficit. They're going to need more than one escape act. They'll need an intermezzo and maybe a second stanza to get into a comeback for this deficit.
I love George Costanza. I like the AC, or relatively early AC pickup. NP is more about like mixed damage because you build into Mjolnir, but you're still like all of other your damage other than procs is gonna be physical. But you are playing against Green Dragon Knight, and everything like all the abilities deal physical damage rather than magical, so they're not gonna be as effective.
Pure's only got 2 charges on that Desolator. GPK going into the BKB, but no fire soon for Miero. Dream Coil lands, collapse, silenced, but hit with the Fiend's Grip, and that is going to be a kill for Pure. They did use that shapeshift, nobody else really in the area. Rue is close-ish, but really nowhere to be found. Knowing that they're all at that part of the map, though, Yatoro, he goes over to try and farm deep again, and immediately Kataomi goes in, and they'll have save. They hit that Nightmare. They've got that vision. They knew he was going there to farm. Miero, by the way, gets a kill on Miposhka, but they're going to take out that Nature's Prophet. And BetBoom all over the map. They had a unit that was going over mid to get the kill onto the Silencer, but the supports make the move, and they find themselves in Nature's Prophet.
Here comes Lycan. AC's ready. With that Deso, look at the damage on the tower. Minus 11 armor. Brewmaster, we are still yet to see Global Silence being used. One Primal Split has only been used in this game. And they haven't really gotten much out of it.
We're going to get Pure Global Silence, but full health here for Pure. Can he survive Hurricane Pike? They're going to void Panda, pull him in, but they've got the Nightmare. Pure trying to get saved, and he'll end up dead. They've got the Shackle on Laurel, but saves in a pretty bad spot. as he is going to be killed. But the question is, can they survive on the side of Team Spirit afterwards? And it looks like they should be A-okay. They've got Yatoro going in, trying to get some more, but the Nightmare immediately from Kataomi doesn't get pulled off. And the Dragon Tail onto the Bane. They'll have the Orchid. That'll make it a third. Oro gets himself a double kill. The rest of the heroes on the side of BetBoom have gotten out, and it's a good defense from the side of Team Spirit to handle that first death to Pure.
Not too bad of a fight. Initiating with Global Silence after Dragonite gets the jump. Then using the Primal Split as well. We said that we haven't seen these two abilities more than once, but we also haven't seen them combined yet. And now Team Spirit getting some gold. Roshan, this is the second Roshan. It did respawn. Pure will still need a BKB of his own. So if they want to be sieging like that with no BKB, no Shadow Shaman wards, no Lycan ulti, they need to be slightly more careful.
Kataomi immediately moving. They have the vision from these wolves. They know where Collapse is. That means Nightmare into the Fiend's Grip and a easy kill. They're thinking of even TPing in Yatoro because the Laurel Dragonite was nearby, but instead they almost just get him. Pure had found him trying to TP. They drop the Dream Coil. They've got the connection. It's on to Laurel. The Dragonite needs to run. He has some help from the Ringmaster, who can potentially get a Wheel of Wonder down there to help out, but they're not going to commit all the way in, and there's no need for it.
Oh, if they ran into that trap, could have been a bit of a disastrous, but he didn't run towards it. Solar Crest also from Miposhka, keeping him alive. Dragonite is a bit of a tougher nut to crack, having status resistance, having poor man's shield, and having high armor as well.
In a Roche they go. Easy Aegis for BetBoom, presumably. They do get the scan, but they're not rotating in time.
I think they're going to try. A bit too late, though. Still going to smoke up, knowing that there is no Lycan ulti, at least for 15 seconds.
It's not that much time to really have an opportunity to do something. They've got Global. And almost 30 minutes into the game, Miposhka and Rue are still level 11.
I thought you were going to say that they're level 11 combined, considering how bad of a game they're having right now. Observer
like it
has been placed, but that's going to get dewarded. There's also Gem available.
Smoked on 3. Kataomi again.
He's alone.
Oh my. He doesn't have Fiend's Grip, but he's by himself, so this might just be him dying.
Can try to TP out, unless the rest of the team is ready to back him up. Pure going through the Twin Gates.
Oop. Survives with a TP. Just TP out. Sure, that works. He's trying to get into the Aghanim Scepter. A long ways out for Bane. I believe it's saved by... Yeah, he's got that Blink Dagger now. He'll have that Blink initiation. He'll have some range to work with that Aether Lens. Still holding on to that Tumbler's Toy, but it's a keen-eyed Tumbler's Toy. So he's got an extra 125 cast range with that as well, and can really use his whole skill set from afar.
Yeah, needs to keep the distance. Doesn't necessarily need to go in first. Dragonite is going to be causing some of the issues. Same goes for the Global Silence. Unless they find the opportunity to Blink Hex, use Templar Assassin and Lycan plus Puck to be able to blow up the target immediately. Miposhka, he's outside of the base.
That is a bad spot to be in, especially with no buyback and your team needing this Global Silence. Pure's got an Aegis. GPK goes in, drops the Dream Coil out on Aru. Serpent Ward's committed to the Shackle, the Hex, the Control. Collapse is dead. Buyback available on both Rue and Collapse. They get the Aegis from Pure. We're going to buy back on this Ringmaster, Miero. He's in that Shapeshift. The Nullifier was thrown onto Yatoro, but the mid-set racks are going to be very vulnerable as Yatoro is trying to defend with the help of this Dragonite, whose Elder Dragon form still has half the duration on it.
Oh man, they have minus 27 armor. I was doing the math with the Deso, Meld, AC, and also Howl on Lycan. So that's why the heroes are melting so quickly.
Not overstepping. They get the Hex on the initial jump from the Dragonite, and all these heroes on BetBoom choose to back away. Wait for these ultis to reset. Get the Dream Coil, get the Shapeshift, the Serpent Wards. They want all of that to be available.
Can't really blame them, considering how many comebacks we've seen so far in the tournament. Observer Ward's gonna catch Kateomi.
He's got Fiend's Grip.
Can't really use it because there's gonna be Global Silence immediately, but he can try to buy a little bit more time.
I almost think if you were looking to fight again, forcing Global might have been worth it, right? I mean, Fiend's Grip's just too good. They might as well just have it.
I would be fine if they traded, maybe. If he used Fiend's Grip, he definitely needed to help him out immediately with the Global Silence.
Right.
Because they don't know. They don't see much right now. On side of Spirit, this early gem pickup that Kateomi did buy is causing huge problems.
I wish I knew you were going to agree with me. Because I said he could use it in trade, and then I didn't know what you were going to say, so I was like, you know what? Forget it. Stupid idea. Come on, be smarter.
It was a good idea. Pretty sure they...
What a dummy.
It went through their minds as well, whether they want to trade.
Go for the Tormentor. Save may not want to be that close, but they take it quick enough where Miro now has his hands on Shard.
Miro gets it, so that's pretty good, because you definitely want to buy Shard.
Tail. Kateomi in some trouble, silenced, and he will die. But after Maposhka, Miero's coming in with a Shapeshift. The chase is on, the Dream Coil is there, and the Wheel of Wonder, it hits onto Pure. So they want to continue to harass him. Actually, they run in on Collapse, and he almost just dies immediately. Laurel's dead, Rue is down. There's the Fiend's Grip, and they get Collapse. I thought he was going to Primal split and look for something, but he ran across and got silenced and just died.
And then got Hurricane Pike by TA, who does have MKB, does have Serrated Shiv. They also have Witchblade on Puck. So this evasion that Brewmaster is usually good at, where you can't attack him, with the Radiance as well, with his Drunken Brawler, it's not really doing much. And the buildings, they just melt. You lose a fight against a lineup like this, that's just gone.
Bottom Center Axe disappear.
They have one fight.
Oh, yeah.
They lose that fight, the game's pretty much over.
BetBoom, a bunch of magicians. Now you see their base, now you don't. They really make things disappear quickly. Top Setter Axe will continue to stand while the side of BetBoom Team will back away from the base. Again, not over forcing anything that might give Spirit a chance.
They also have two 9-second BKBs flying out. One on Miro, one on Pure. GPK already has his down to 7 seconds. Waiting for everything to reset. 30 seconds until both supports have their ultis available.
30 seconds for Spirit to game plan how they're going to win this fight, down 27,000 net worth. In such a harsh situation. 4,700 net worth and 33 minutes. These supports on Spirit have gotten nothing. They really have not found any farm around the map on these supports. Save once in, but Yatoro has other plans, at least for now. They'll throw down that Wheel of Wonder. Pure taking some damage, but the Fiend's Grip out of Laurel, and they get the kill to Yatoro. They'll take out Rue. Down goes Laurel. No buyback at all. Pure goes into the meld and will try to fight back and will take out Collapse, but will lose his life. Still, though, 4 heroes die on the side of Team Spirit. GG is called, and BetBoom, they take the 2-0 over Team Spirit in this first round.
Yeah, making the comeback in game number 1. This second game was really not competitive. Very well drafted and great execution.